In last week's episode we entered Seine and pointed the bow towards the English Channel. We made it as far as the picture-perfect postcard town Vernon, that after a steep hike/climb gave us some good views over Seine. You have to love those sunny calm mornings. There was barely no wind as we continued downstream Seine, and this far the sun gave a nice warmth. But it soon got much hotter and we decided for a short day. We are approaching our stop for today, Le Andalou, with its old castle. I think it's also going to be hiking routes here, so really excited to see it. This is the fourth place we try. That's too shallow for us, and now we passed this place that we want to see, but we have to continue because we find nowhere to stop. But eventually we did. We couldn't find a place to stop or to dock at Le Andalou. So we found a marina about 12 kilometers away. So now we're going to take the bikes, and it's super hot. So we're going to bike really slowly, take our time, and hopefully we get there. The biking was indeed warm, but we made a pleasant discovery. This is the most crystal clear water we've seen in many weeks. So let's get a feet in. This is a small place with only around 8,000 people living here, and even if town is cute, the main attraction is the castle. Uphill today too. Almost equally steep today as well. This ruins was once the majestic defense fortress of King Richard the Lionheart. It's called Chateau Gaillard, and it's placed on one of the most scenic loops of the Seine. You can go inside for a small fee, but that site was already closed once we got here. Nevertheless, the view was amazing. "25 warm kilometers on the bike and a steep hike up to the castle, but it was definitely worth going there. But now it's nice to be back on the boat. The sun is about to set and it's a little breeze coming, so it's getting a little cooler. Today is gonna be our very last lock, and I think we are kind of happy about it. We ain't getting to the Mediterranean as we planned for, as I wished for. It's 2 years of planning gone bad, but we will instead go towards Atlantic. It's gonna be completely different, of course. It feels a little bit disappointing, but at the same time a bit exciting. So in an hour about, we're gonna approach the very last lock, and that also means we're gonna have our first meeting with the Tidals. We've never sailed in the tidal waters before, and it's been a little bit hard to get the information. We have, of course, our navigation system, but the tidal curves looks very different from what we've seen anywhere else. But I think it's gonna work out. We got a tip from a boat neighbor this morning that they speak English at the last lock here, and that they can advise us when it's suitable to pass out, because it's still gonna be river water, and it's when the tidal comes from the ocean and pushes into the river that you can have those nasty, like really steep high waves. We heard about like 1.5 to 2 meters, which sounds really scary having the mast on the boat. But our boat neighbor also said it's not going to be that bad the first part after we pass out here, so we hope he's correct. And I think we're going to go about 2 hours after we pass out, and we're going to try to time in with the high tide. We're a little bit uncertain because we looked at 2 different navigation programs and they said very different times for the high tide. So I guess we have to learn this also by asking around a little bit. But at the moment it's still canals inside of the lock, so it's very calm. Some big houses around here too. So this is the last one. I really hope for a long time. It's been interesting because the barges has been loose, so they've been driving around in the basin, all 3 of them, and causing a lot of turbulence, but still it's been smooth, and now we can see the door is opening. Now the tidal has turned, so we are on our way towards the water, and you can see all the currents in the water. We're making about 1.5 knot more because of the current now, which is good because we couldn't tie up at the place that we had seen on the chart. We drove in there and it was like 2.8 meters, and now we are at high tide. So it seems much more shallow than we expected it to be, because the water will drop like at least 2 meters there. So then they say like it's mud, and under the mud is rocks, and it's no pebbles. And it was like, yeah, but it's rocks. So we decided to not stay. So we're gonna find a pontoon along the river, we hope it's going to be a place for us because it's starting to be a little bit late and we're not allowed to drive here when it's dark. So we have like less than half an hour still to go. So it's looking promising. We're leaving our first docking after entering the tidal waters in the early morning because we have high tide like an hour ago, so and we ain't gonna go that far today, so we didn't have to go up even earlier, but we want to go on the outgoing water towards Rouen. I think it's called Rouen. But it's nice to be up before everybody else's. The local bakery was already open, so we got fresh bread for breakfast. This is as far up as the ocean-going vessels go. Rouen is the vibrant historic and cultural capital of Normandy. It is also the place where Jeanne d'Arc was burned. The astronomical watch, where you can see at the top the moon phase. Sunday dinner. We made a good effort together with some meat for once, and salad and guacamole, and it's looking delicious. We ended our day with this and one more very important task. We have been keeping a close track on our depth sounder the entire day now, because in our navionics chart it doesn't seem like the tidal curves are correct. We don't think so. They seem very strange, and also from what we see now, the tidal has a difference of 3.5 meters, and in navionics it says only 3 meters, and they also behave a bit strange. So we compare them to other ones, and the other ones seem to work better. I want to deeply thank my Patreons for supporting the making of these episodes, and if you want to contribute, you can also become a Patreon or buy me a coffee at the links below. If you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you appreciated this episode, please give it a big thumbs up.